After locking up a playoff spot last week, the Eagles now have to play one more game before the postseason begins against the Dallas Cowboys. And to be fair, for both teams in this situation, this game is meaningless. This game has so little meaning for both teams that it's a question of whether anybody's going to play any of their starters in this game. I mean, in all honesty, there is legitimate question on whether the Eagles or Cowboys are going to play anybody. Because let me break down both scenarios for both teams. Right now, the best the Eagles can get to is the 6th seed. Right now, they're the 7th seed. They've guaranteed a playoff spot. That's what they know. If they win, Niners lose, the Eagles are the 6th seed. What does that do for them? Nothing. It does nothing for them. They're going to be on the road basically the entire way of the playoffs. And, okay, great, you won one more game. Good for you. What'd that do for you? So next, you look at the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys had an opportunity to possibly be a number 1 seed. Now, their issue was they lost to the Cardinals last week, which basically bumped them out of the 2 seed all the way down to the 4 seed. Now, there is a possibility for them to still be the number 2 seed. However, unlike in years past, the 2 seed used to give you a bye week. It doesn't do that anymore. So, do the Cowboys want to risk everything and become a 2 seed for what? You're still playing in the wild card? I mean, probably not. There may not be much for them to play for either. So we have a rare situation in the NFL in Week 18 where both teams don't give a crap who wins. Both teams are looking on to the next week. In a sense, this is a glorified bye week for both teams. Now, has Dallas come out and said they're going to play some of their starters? They've been a little lukewarm on it. You know, you've heard different sides on their side of the field saying, yeah, we want to play our starters, we want to do this, we want to do that. And hey, good for them, fine for them. That's their prerogative. You know, they locked up the division, they did everything they were supposed to. That's their choice what they want to do. Now for the Eagles are in a little more of a odd situation. After their Week 17 victory over the Washington football team, about 12 players ended up landing on the COVID-19 list for the Eagles. A good chunk of which were starters, such as Fletcher Cox, Dallas Goedert, and even center Jason Kelce. Though the Eagles have been quiet and been very keeping their cards to their chest about this, it does appear that the Eagles are taking this game as a preseason game. The Eagles are probably going to be playing most of their backups, if not all their backups, on Saturday night's game. And in my opinion, I don't like seeing that. I would have liked to have seen the Eagles, even shorthanded, come out with some of these young guys and say, hey, you know, let's give it a good old try. Let's see what we got. Let's figure out who we have behind some of these starters and let these guys play. Let's see what they got. Now, a lot of these young guys are still going to be able to play. A lot of these backups are going to be able to. But I don't like the idea of rushing your starters in this type of a situation. With this team being so young right now, I believe every rep is important. Even a meaningless Week 18 rep. The Eagles can't allow these valuable game reps to go to waste. Especially when you're trying to figure out if Jalen Hurts is the guy, which I said in my previous video, I'd give him another year. But still, this is a Week 18 regular season game against a team that might very well could see in the postseason. You know, it may not be Dallas, but there's also the Arizona Cardinals, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those 3 teams are very likely to be the Eagles' first-round opponent. And they're of similar talent and quality of what the Dallas Cowboys are right now. So why give up that opportunity to see that style of defense, that style of an opponent right now? In a sense, it's a warm-up game. And what if it doesn't go well for you? That's fine. You can go back to the drawing board next week and prepare. I just don't like the mentality of saying, hey, we're treating it as a preseason game when every rep matters. The whole part of this year was to give Jalen Hurts as many reps as possible to figure out whether he's going to be the franchise guy. And yeah, I understand this is a meaningless Week 18 game. And there's risk if guys could get hurt. But you know what? If you go into the mindset of guys can get hurt, that's the worst thing you can do as a football team. You can't go in there afraid. If a guy gets hurt, so be it. It's a part of the game. Guys will get hurt. But you know what? That's how you learn about whether these guys are part of your future or not. And to be fair, Jalen Hurts has been pretty healthy through most of the season. Even with the slight ankle injury, they let him out of a game mainly because of, well, it was the Jets. And he's played every other play besides that. So, injury-wise, I'm not too worried about it for Jalen Hurts. I would like to see more reps from him, and I would like to see him get another crack at the Cowboys. One of his worst games of the season was that Dallas game. And just like with the Giants, him getting another crack against them and doing better the second time, I would have liked to have seen the same thing happen with Jalen this time around. Give him another crack against the Cowboys. See how he does. Let him get a few drives in there. Get that bad taste of week 3 out of your mouth. You can go on, have a fresh start, a fresh look, and be like, all right, that wasn't me. This is who I am. I would have liked to have seen that. But knowing the Eagles organization, knowing how they operate, it's no surprise that they're going to try and basically bench all their guys. They're going to treat this like a preseason game. And their attitude is, hey, we're in the postseason. There's nothing more for us to play for right now. We're going to make sure we're healthy. I personally do not agree with that mindset, but I'm not the one in charge. I'm just a guy giving his opinion. So much for what I know. So with that being said, I guess I can go into who I think is going to win. If Dallas is playing in their starters, I think Dallas is going to win. This is a meaningless game. I don't think the Eagles are really going to put much of an effort into this game. They're just going to be like, all right, let's get it over with. We got what we want. You guys got what you want, is what it is. So if I'm going to put up a score, I'm guessing I'll say 30-17, Dallas. I think that would be a score in this game. But like I said, there's really not too much to go into this game. The Eagles have the playoffs locked up. Dallas has the division locked up. Neither one of them has too much to play for in this situation, just for basically to get right for the playoffs. That's all they're really going for. So, with that being said, I guess I'll go into my Week 18 NFL picks. So, to start us off, the games will be starting on Saturday, finishing up on Sunday. The first game to start us off will be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Denver Broncos. Kansas City is in a scenario after their tough loss to the Bengals last week where if they win, they need help in order to get the number 1 seed. Considering that the team they have to worry about, the Titans, doesn't play until Sunday, they're probably going to play their starters throughout this game. I see the Chiefs beating Denver, taking care of business. Denver doesn't have too much to play for. They're eliminated last week, so I think Kansas City steamrolls them. So next we got Washington taking on the New York Giants to start the Sunday slate. This is your who's who's game. I think Washington's going to win this game. I think they're a better team than the Giants. The Giants have just completely collapsed considering their quarterback situation right now. So I'm going to go Washington will get a win here. Next, we got the Bengals taking on the Browns. The Browns season ended last week. Baker Mayfield's not going to play. Bengals, depending on what they could get right now, I think they'll play some of their starters, but I still think that'll be enough for them to win. I'm going to go Bengals in a win here. Next, we got the Steelers taking on the Ravens. We all saw what happened Monday night. Big Ben got one last hoorah at Heinz Field, and now the Steelers are going to try and give him one last win to send him off to retirement happy, or to try and get one more playoff game. The Ravens, no Lamar Jackson. They've just completely fallen apart since his injury. I got to go Steelers in this game. Packers-Lions. This is a game that might be a little bit of a toss-up because, at least from what I know right now, I haven't heard whether Green Bay is going to be playing anybody or not. They have the number 1 seed wrapped up. So what do they really have to play for? And Detroit, hey, they've been playing with a bunch of scrubs the entire season. So maybe they get one more win. I'll be nice considering Green Bay is probably going to be playing their backups. I'll say Detroit wins this game just for the fact the Lions are going to play hard and try and end the season on a good note. So next we've got the Jaguars taking on the Colts. Look, Indy wins, they're in. That's their scenario. But there's been weird things that have happened in the last week of an NFL season. And you know what? I'm feeling it's going to get a little wacky in this game. I'm going to say Jacksonville gets an upset here. It's not the conventional pick. It's not anything like that. It's probably not even a sane pick. But I'm going to say Jacksonville wins this game just to allow some screwiness and fun for Week 18 in the NFL. So I'll go on throw a wild card in here. I'll say Jacksonville will win this game, send their fans home happy, and ruin Indy's playoff chances. Next, got the Bears taking on the Vikings. And Look, I think the Vikings are just a better team right now. The Bears have had a lot of injuries, but they've played tough, and they've been a tough out. But I just feel like the Vikings just have too much talent. They'll get the job done. And for Chicago, I would say, hey, at least you'll get a good first-round pick, but you kind of sent that to the Giants. So hopefully Justin Fields gets better next year, and you guys have a better year. So with that, next we go to the Titans and the Texans. This is the game that will determine the number one seed in the AFC. The Titans win, they wrap it up. If they don't, they give Kansas City a shot to become the number one seed again. I don't see them giving this up. I think the Titans will take care of business. They'll get the win against Houston, and they'll wrap up the number one seed here. Next, got the Saints taking on the Falcons. I mean, this is one of those NFC South toss-up games. You know, both teams have been very up and down. The Saints need a little help from the 49ers in order to make the postseason. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the scenario is Niners lose and Saints win, and the Saints are in. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what the scenario is. And I think the Saints win this game. I just don't think Atlanta's defense is good enough. I think the Saints make enough plays offensively and get enough turnovers, and the Saints will win and give themselves an opportunity to make that wild card seed. Next, we got the Seahawks taking on the Cardinals. Now, this scenario in this game is actually important for the NFC West division crown. If the Cardinals win and the Rams lose, the Cardinals are NFC champions of their conference, not the conference of the division. So this is a game where the Cardinals have to win to give themselves a shot. And I think they do win. I think the Cardinals win this game. It's at home. Seattle has been struggling. They did give Russell Wilson his nice little last hurrah game last week, if it is his last home game as a Seattle Seahawk. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But I think the Cardinals win this game and force the Rams in order to win the division. Next, got the Jets taking on the Bills. Hey, this is the game, another game that has a division on the line. Bills take care of business. They win the AFC East. If they lose, they open up the door to the Patriots. I don't think the Bills lose this game. I think the Bills take care of business, win this game, and they win the division. Short and sweet to the point. I think the Bills are better, and I think they'll take care of business. Next, got the Panthers taking on the Bucs. I mean, we'll see what Tampa wants to do. Tampa has the choice of, do we rest guys to play a certain team, or do we play our guys to guarantee who we're going to play? Because right now, if the season were to end today, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Tampa would actually play the Eagles in the wild card round. Now, if Tampa likes their matchup, maybe they play their starters, destroy the Panthers, and sit there and say, hey, we got ourselves a game against Philly. But we'll see what happens. I still think Tampa's going to win. I think they're too good. They got too much talent, even with some of their backups. So I think Tampa Bay will take care of Carolina, who has been an absolute free fall recently. Next, got the Patriots taking on the Dolphins. This goes back to the Bills-Jets game. If New England wins and the Bills lose, New England's in as the division champion. I do think the Bills are going to win their game, so this is just going to be a, hey, have fun game, see what happens. I still think the Patriots are going to win this game, not knowing who's going to win and who's going to do what. I think they'll play their guys throughout, and I think New England's just a better team than Miami right now. So I got New England with the win. Next, got the Rams taking on the 49ers. In this game, the Niners, they have a lot to play for. They have to play for a playoff spot right now. If the Niners don't win, they could honestly be looking on the outside right now. So the Niners have to win in order to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Rams have to win in order to keep their division championship dreams alive. If the Rams win, they win the division, just flat out. But if they lose, they open up the door to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals can win the division. I think this is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a fun game to watch, with both teams having a lot to play for. I just think the Rams have a little bit more firepower, and they're going to be able to win this game, defeating the 49ers. And to wrap everything up, on Sunday Night Football, we have a win and you're in scenario for both teams. Now, I know there's a wacky scenario where if I'm not mistaken, if the Colts lose, that the Chargers and Raiders could literally tie and they both make it in. But where's the fun in that? I don't think either team's going to be able to let the other one in. So, honestly, I think the Chargers are a better team. They got a better quarterback. They got better players. They got a better squad. As great of a story the Raiders have been, considering everything they've been through this year, I just think the Chargers have too much firepower, and the Chargers will win the game, unfortunately ending Las Vegas' season. And with that wraps up my Week 18 picks in the NFL. I want to thank you all for listening to the Process YouTube channel. If you like what I got to say, please hit the like button. If you agree or disagree with anything I got to say so in the comment section below. And what's the matchup this week you guys are most looking forward to? So, with that, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.